I'd vote for Jon Stewart. That'd be a good one.
Jon Stewart.
Oh, yes, in a heartbeat. He's the only person of notoriety who really told the Senate to go f themselves as far as their actions with the 9/11 first responders.
Yeah.
And, people who just should have been taken care of,
Obviously, yeah.
The infinite amount of money we have to go destroy things, we could have peeled off a few off the stack and go, here you go, good job.
Yeah.
Nope. Not even once. And it goes back to the detachment. We have people who don't understand how the machine works, making Roe v. Wade destroyed
Yeah.
our medical industry as a whole. It's not just for women. It's for the privacy and everything else. You're for sale now. So am I.
Yeah.
All of it. All of our information. If that doesn't spark another civil war, I'm going to be very surprised, because we literally pissed off 50% of our population, and they're all armed. If you just include the women in the United States, that is the largest army on the planet. As a dude, I'm a little uh-oh. Whoops. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't that was a bad idea.
Personally, I identify as a bitch, so I think I'll be okay.
It might not be enough to save us this time.
Alexander Payne, one half of Sad Money, and I'm here with
John Banzer.
John Banzer. You're a man of many talents, the most talented guy I know, the most opinionated guy I know. You have anything you want to talk about that has to do with economically? How about I get it started? How about congestion pricing? What's your thought on congested prices, pricing of congestion?
You mean the commuter tax?
Yeah, the commuter tax.
Okay, the way we're going to make sure that all the commercial real estate in Manhattan just stays empty? Perfect. We're going to charge the plumbers to come in and fix the piping and the 100-year-old pre-war piles of... Yeah, there's no way that's going to blow up in our faces completely. Just take the cameras down before we do. It's just, put them to good use. Use them to track the trains that you can't seem to find half the time. It would be nice if we know where they were. We don't need switching tracks if we can know where the trains are all the time. And if you can track 100,000 cars going in and out of a zone, you could probably track 40 trains. Just a thought.
So what you're saying is it's a backwards thinking to tax the people that are going to come in here, fix our buildings, our toilets, basically make our lives better, which is in turn going to cost all of us more.
Well, we didn't take care of the city in the manner that blue-collar people can afford to work here. We kicked everybody out during the pandemic, and a lot of talent left the city and is never coming back. They found greener pastures that are less stressful, and, they have a better shot at retiring. It didn't really matter who the president is. Since I graduated high school, nothing's really gotten better. Bike lanes and all the other happy nonsense, that's great. We have fewer solar panels, less shipping being brought into this. We have no freight being brought into the harbor. We have an island that's being completely fed by truck, and they want to try and triple tax that per trip. So it's not good. And we don't even have programs to keep, let's say, supers or tradespeople in these buildings. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you just want a plumber to just live in the building? Come on, how much easier would that be?
I agree.
And then you make it hard. I can't park my truck here. I can't park my car. Amazon takes a whole bunch of space. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, I'm offended because I cannot take 5 minutes to go get something to eat. Why is my money not green? Why does Uber and Lyft get a break? Why do these creepy weirdos who want to just keep dumping insane amounts of money into council positions that never got this amount of donations are now being given large sums of money anonymously? Because the city allows that.
Yeah.
I'm not allowing it.
Yeah. So what is your solution? What do you think we should do to fix that?
We need to focus on it. Yeah. We don't need people who are pulling in six figures telling people who are making four figures that they need to spend more. I need the person who is making six figures to provide me with 6 figures worth of service. And I don't see that when I look at the board. I don't see that when I look at any of our politicians, any of them. There's people who don't work for a living telling me how much it's going to cost to go work for a living. Mm. Part of any job interview I go to, I have to consider how much it's going to cost me to go to and from. And depending on how far I'm going or if I go into the city, that's a significant, and especially the timing. What time of day you come in can dictate how much more you're spending. We have off-peak and on-peak ticket prices for trains, which is the stupidest thing on the planet. Just make it one price, spread it out over the whole system, and push the system until you reach the point where you can't maintain the levels, and then you add trains as necessary.
Yeah.
I could go on for about an hour and a half about this.
Sounds like you should be our mayor.
I'm running. Just spell my name correctly. I don't want money. If you donate money to a political campaign, you're expecting, imaginary rectangles to actually solve problems, and we're past that now. If you're not willing to take an interest in how this machine runs, it's going to fail. There's no, as one mechanic, I cannot keep it running. It's an impossible lift. I need more of the 330 million some odd people who are citizens to actually do something. It's not up to one person or one political candidate anymore.
So what do you think about our mayor, Adams?
He doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
He goes around party. I'm a comedian and I see him out partying more than I do. Okay, I know I don't drink, but the dude is out clubbing more than I have ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And I know I don't club. I know, you see this and you're just like, oh yeah, that guy must hit. No, I don't,
Yeah.
it does not. I haven't seen him behind a desk. He doesn't do much legislative work. I saw him by a table once. That was cool. He was signing something near a table, but never at his desk. Has a hard time focusing on things that matter, like the operation of the city.
Yeah.
It's important, if you're going to be the mayor. And the constant squabbling. Nobody wants to hold anybody accountable, and I'm responsible for this mess. A little bit of it's me. It's you. I can only be as responsible as I want, but if I am completely dissatisfied with all the candidates, I have no choice but to run. So, am I going to win? Oh, no. Am I going to try? Yeah. Am I going to do? If I can get up on stage and actually work these people in a debate, I don't think they would have much of a chance.
I agree.
They don't know how to build the thing. The Baltimore bridge collapse.
Glad you went there because I was going to go there.
The Baltimore bridge collapse. If you look at the size of that ship and the size of that bridge, this something that came screaming out at me when I looked at that we have aircraft carriers that can be refueled once every 30 years. We have nuclear submarines that can destroy the planet several times over as we occupy it as human beings. We don't have a bridge in a ship. I think bridge in a box might be something along the lines of what we're trying to talk about, because a lot of our infrastructure is old. This was one accidental tap. What happens when something actually goes wrong? When we have a catastrophic cascade failure of multiple forms of infrastructure, where we've turned our own ports into mountain biking. The thing in Brooklyn is now, it's a mountain bike park that's open sometimes.
Basketball courts.
Sure. We don't need toilet paper, but go and play some basketball. It's fine. We can't get autonomous shipping containers, but thanks for the bicycle path. It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. If we made the bridges skyscrapers basically on their side, you could house boroughs worth of people and have high-speed rail flying through them.
Yeah.
We engage in mega projects on a daily basis now, so we're kind of bored by it. Like the Freedom Tower is an engineering marvel. Mm-hmm. And people say, oh yeah, that's nice. We're bored by magnificence in this city, but it also it kind of got shut down, and we haven't woken it up yet, and it's not going to get better because it's not done. It's never going to be done, and the further back you let it go, the more difficult it is going to be to have a city that never sleeps. Our libraries close.
Yeah.
If the libraries close, you're doomed.
How so? Because the generation that doesn't read is doomed to repeat the mistakes before, or?
No, nothing that complex. The last time our species, not even our country, the last time our species started closing libraries, we forgot how to do toilets for 2,000 years. So it is very, very important that we maintain access to knowledge as a collective to our citizens, and even anybody. You want to come here and learn. How are you going to come here and learn? Where would you go? Where would you go if you wanted to go learn something?
Google, TikTok?
Google? Yeah, true. If you didn't have that, what would be a third option?
There's a homeless guy on my street that I call Google, and I ask him questions.
This is good. Does he usually have the right answer, or is it peculiar?
They're peculiar. They're like riddles, really.
Excellent. It's a library. The library is the answer.
The library is the answer.
The library is the answer.
A lot of shut down in my neighborhood in Queens.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
They're not for people who don't want them.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. Ben Franklin was not a moron and set up a library system for a good reason.
Yeah.
Or advocated for it. This is not. It's not something that ever fails to pay a dividend. And for a bunch of psychotic people who've been responsible for more financial crises than everywhere else, I would figure that some people on Wall Street would be like, no, libraries, good bet, do that, go, yeah, books. No, we don't want them to forget toilets.
Yeah.
The further back in time you go, the worse things smell.
That is true.
You know, the world before air conditioning is just terrible. It's terrible now, but now at least it's comfortably terrible. You know what I mean?
Except in France, they don't do
No.
air. They don't do air conditioning.
In France, they're pumping thousands of liters of manure on all the buildings of the government there.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Because of the election?
No, because they're telling farmers how to grow crops. You know how these people, like the mayor's a party mayor, really doesn't do mayor stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Now imagine if he dictated to somebody in Nebraska how they were going to grow crops. Imagine how well that would go.
Yeah.
Poorly?
Yeah.
Poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poorly. It went poorly. Because in Germany too. This is the point I'm trying to make. When you have people or you bet on a candidate that is just charismatic or good or whatever, you don't get the person who knows what they're doing, or whether they be rougher around the edges or not as elegant or as well spoken as somebody else. We desperately need people who are capable of dealing with direct problems. The country, at least this one, was designed to be run by its citizens.
So what you're saying is this presidential election coming up, you have no hope. Either candidate, doesn't matter. It's up to us to fix it.
Both candidates belong more so in a nursing home than they do in charge of nuclear weapons or one of the largest standing militaries, or the largest standing military the world's ever seen. It's unacceptable that these people who can't hold any other job in the federal government are somehow able to be in charge of it. And we wonder why nothing ever gets done and why everything always sounds like they're detached. I'd vote for Jon Stewart. That'd be a good one.
Jon Stewart.
Oh yes, in a heartbeat. He's the only one he's the only person of notoriety who really told the Senate to go fuck themselves as far as their actions with the 9/11 first responders.
Yeah.
And people who should have been taken care of.
Obviously. Yeah.
The infinite amount of money we have to go destroy things, we could have peeled off a few off the stack and go, here you go. Good job.
Yeah.
Nope. Not even once.
Do you have any thoughts about Senate?
Senate?
Yeah. Congress?
They are the least functional Congress that has existed since the Civil War. They truly are. They have done, never before in the history of mankind have so few done so little with so much. They have the confidence of the American people, an unlimited budget, power of the pen, influence around the world, and they do nothing but squabble. We're getting exactly what we pay for.
So, all right, let's pivot. What do you think about AI, artificial intelligence? Seeing as we're all getting dumber, and everyone's relying on artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, I don't know, Meta AI for Instagram, whatever. What do you think about this? What do you think?
I think I was wondering yesterday or the day before, it was yesterday, what the amount of data transfer to just be completely shut out is. Because it seems the more information we have access to and the quicker we can get it, the less interested we are in actually absorbing the information.
This is what you were talking about where we're bored by magnificence.
Pretty much, something like, again, what is the question that will make AI work the hardest is a good question, instead of what can it do, can it deliver my pizza? No, how can we use this tool to get a grasp on something that is just beyond us in some aspect?
Okay.
That's cool. And how can you ask AI to extrapolate beyond its capacity? You know what I mean? Where is the limit that tool becomes vital? Or, the old saying of give me a lever. Doesn't matter how big, you can move a mountain.
Okay.
That was Socrates, one of the old philosophers. But it's good. You give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and you can lift the universe technically.
Yeah.
Where's the pry bar? Where's the fulcrum that you can use that tool to its capacity to make a really big difference?
So you don't feel like AI is being really used to its optimum capacity? Because personally, I use it as my personal WebMD doctor.
That's fine. It's going to replace a lot of rote memorization, but it's also being used to, for mass death.
Mass death.
Mass death. More multiple, what we would consider a mass shooting. We are using these devices and drones and ability to hover and load and, loitering munitions, basically. We could just wander around out here and people would just be meat pulped by a grenade that drops right about, boop, boom.
You be talking about the war in Ukraine, or are you talking
Everywhere.
About,
We're testing pieces of equipment which should just stay on the drawing board. If it's not worth killing over, it's not worth dying for. Why is our diplomatic corps not feared?
yeah.
Name a diplomat. That's a problem. That's a problem.
I don't know a diplomat.
But that's a problem. You see how that's a problem in a country that wields almost infinite power?
Is John Kerry still a diplomat? Wasn't he like something?
It's just- but see, there you
Yeah.
go. That's another point. Where are the people who actually understand geopolitical problems, which really just boil down to how many angry, hungry, pissed off people do we have this week? Oh, everything's going on. Well, there's no food there, so they're kind of pissed off this way.
Yeah.
I really do think we could, lunch from above. We could just spread sandwiches right out of a.
We did that during the Iraq War. I remember
on,
we used to
again.
bomb them and then drop Pop-Tarts and stuff
Why
and
not?
turkey sandwiches,
Just,
Twinkies.
drop the Whopper.
The Whopper.
Why not?
That's
Extra
not
crispy.
bad. Yeah, bomb, the Whopper bomb.
You can fit an entire mall McDonald's in a C-130. Okay, there's no way we can't deliver something hot, fresh, and ready.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could rule them by fear, or we can rule them by food, fatness, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone deserves a McDonald's. Everyone deserves
That's just
apple
mean.
pie.
I don't know about that. We don't have to punish them that badly.
Okay, yeah, maybe not McDonald's, but
Are they ready?
what's that one?
Don't we already have one everywhere?
Not everywhere. If you have a McDonald's in your country,
You lost.
if
We
you,
won.
you won't get bombed. But if you don't have one,
No, we bomb countries with McDonald's.
did we?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
KFC. We did, come on, we had KFCs in Afghanistan, man.
Well, KFC is not McDonald's.
It's KFC. It's a Colonel. All right. You can,
McDonald's has the Golden Arches rule, which is we don't bomb any place with
yeah,
McDonald's.
that's nice. Things are very difficult in the world.
Yeah.
But even 100 years ago, talking about a mass, precision-made, well-delivered sandwich that is the same anywhere you go, people would look at you like you were a madman.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to have lettuce go all the way around the world in February, right? Okay, they would get no.
Yeah.
So modern problems require
Modern solutions. You're
well,
saying
more
we need
problems, more problems,
more problems.
more problems.
We need a new Panama Canal, is what I'm hearing.
Well, you know what? If it was a 199-year lease, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems we would because if we were running the port, there'd be a little bit more difficulty to get things across, the Darien Gap, if you know what I mean, picking up what I'm putting down, But we don't own the fucking port, so we can't tell what's going on over there anymore.
Let me ask you this. All right, you were talking about the cost of living. How have you personally been affected by the cost of living, or just in general? Like, what do you think can be done to fix this in the state that a lot of people are in now? Young people, just people living in the city or trying to have a future.
Well, not only over the past few years have I had my entirety, been completely disheartened as a tradesperson. I have very little motivation to do anything that has just, one for the team. I want to put teeth back in my head, and I can't because I have to go pay an increase in this and that. I have responsibilities to myself and to help take care of my family members, which means I don't have 90 hours to go do anything.
Yeah.
Let alone, it circles back to we don't have trains that run on time. We don't have trains that run 24/7. We don't have buses that run 24/7. So if I wanted to engage in the economic powerhouse, I can't. We're still within that stupid limited window that we've been doing since 1948. We got to get up there by 5, 9. No. This is half the world is running while we're asleep. So it really doesn't make sense to keep doing what we're doing.
Monetarily wise, you're just saying everything.
No, it does. I just went to the store and I saw a pound of butter for like $7.
Yeah.
I don't know how to solve that. I can go and have all my opinions about the corporate this and that, but it seems as though the corporations and the people that are made up don't want their own team to succeed. So
Yes.
it seems as though they're playing against the house, and they're the house.
Yeah.
So they're just literally undermining themselves.
Yeah.
It does, but this is the same behavior you get out of an addict, or you get out of somebody who's just hyper focused. People who are fantastic with numbers but really don't get the empathy part of it.
Yes.
I wonder who's fantastic with numbers and really bad with empathy. Any of our current servants come to mind?
Well, I was going to say a lot of them, but I was also going to say computers are like that too.
Yeah, and that's our job.
Yeah.
we're finally at the job where we can consider the effect we have in a ripple fashion. That's a privilege that other generations don't have and may never have again.
Yeah.
This is a point in time in which we get to set the machine for the next 50 to 100 years. And if we don't take the time to make the right decisions, the only people we're fucking is ourselves.
Yeah.
There's nobody else. There's no magical, this is it. This is the only group of people who are going to be affected. It's not imaginary. You know, at some point we have to start steering the machine. You know, granted, a lot of people in charge are pushing 100, but, you know.
You were talking a little bit about you, like, I got to put more teeth back in my head. How about, let me ask you any questions about the American Medical Association.
I'll tell you, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head and start my own family.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You know, forget about minimum wage and all this other crap. As somebody who knows how to do more than scan groceries or everything, and I am very much so of the mindset that if you have a job of any nature, it shouldn't be a problem to just keep a roof over your head fed and, you know, walk to the movie theater every once in a while, have a fun day. No. I'm talking about, so I'm on my third or fourth trade, depending on how I'm looking at it, and now I'm looking around for a completely different career set for the fifth time, and I'm 33.
Yeah.
This is getting old, and there's nothing that's paying out, and it's not working. I need, you know, the average age in my town is 45.
What's your town?
Smithtown, out in Kings Park right now.
Yeah.
That means it's not a lot of young families living out there.
Yeah.
And there's no incentive. There's no guarantee of retirement. And then it goes back to the detachment. We have people who don't understand how the machine works, making Roe v. Wade destroyed.
Yeah.
Our medical industry as a whole. It's not just for women. It's for the privacy and everything else. You're for sale now. So am I.
Yeah.
All of it. All of our information. It's not. It's. If that doesn't spark another civil war, I'm going to be very surprised, because we literally pissed off 50% of our population, and they're all armed.
Yeah.
You know, if you just include the women in the United States, that is the largest army on the planet, more so than the United States. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as a dude, I'm a little. Uh-oh. Whoops. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't. That was a bad idea.
Personally, I identify as a bitch, so I think I'll be okay.
It might not be enough to save us this time.
I hope. One
Yeah.
hopes. I think
yeah.
you'll be okay because you can fix stuff.
Yeah.
Women love a guy who can fix stuff.
But so can AI, all right? A forklift and a fucking handy,
Yeah.
set of channel locks does 40% of my job. Okay. If you understand pliers, you'll be okay.
You'd be surprised how many people don't understand pliers.
They will.
Or a hammer.
Well, that's the thing. If you use the pliers incorrectly, they can also be a hammer.
That's a good point. They can be a hammer. So, can I ask you about just like maybe like mental health stuff? Like, you've had some experience like dealing with mental health. What has been your experience with that system in today's world?
Well, I escaped through the front door with my paperwork, so they won't look for me, which is very important. If you go through the window, they're going to send some people to bring you back to the soft room, and that's not what we're looking for. That being said, the interest the government has shown in the mental health system has done nothing but limit it. And I feel worse off now than I did before, although there is relief in being seen as far as society and people are concerned. The more understanding people have, the better. But, on being disarmed and being put on a list and not being allowed to have certain machinery or fly a plane because some people were sick. I can't get a pilot's license because some asshole in Germany decided to take a jet full of people on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting in a 500,000-pound aluminum beer can. It's flying in the air.
Yeah.
You're not right in the head to begin with.
Yeah.
You understand?
I understand.
You understand? Okay. Oh, a pilot. Oh, you're one of those. Yes. Okay. So, and Tom Cruise has a pilot's license, so I'm not really fucking buying that this is a...
It's true, Tom Cruise does have a pilot license.
So if you're mentally ill and flying, okay, we need to really... But this is another thing. One of the areas of research that I wanted to go into, pointless, because I can't engage in certain forms of testing because of a limitation, because of chemicals that are it's a problem I've been dealing with for 20 years.
Yeah.
Just because I have mental disabilities doesn't mean that I'm incapable of doing things, although in some aspects it does.
Yeah.
But if I use the doesn't mean I'm incapable of everything.
Yeah.
It means I need to limit myself same way others people do. If you have diabetes or some other chronic issue,
Yeah.
it doesn't go away. But if you use the tools at your disposal, you can have some level of normalcy,
Right.
which is what I chase. I'm greedy. I want balance. Can't have it.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up, it's different. It's the opposite of insanity. You do the same thing every day, and it's different.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You do the same thing every day and it's different.
Yeah, like if you go to sleep, the boat doesn't stop moving. So that's the best way I can describe it. Even as calm or whatever it is I am, by the time I regain consciousness or a set period of time goes by that varies, everything's changed again. Perfect. You have to deal with it. Consistency is a rarity for me.
Yeah.
So, and I have a lot of things flowing through my head all at once, sometimes thousands. It's very overwhelming. I get up too fast, overwhelmed by existence, throw up, and have to go lie down.
Yeah.
Because it's great when you're looking at something like this in the city and there's a million different moving parts, but when you're just sitting there idling, it's the same. If you ever see a video when somebody's just flooring it in the parking lot, not going anywhere, and they send a rod right to the engine and it blows up, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating to be in my position and see nothing get done with infinite amounts of money.
Yeah. And everyone else chasing that infinite amounts of money.
Not chasing the thing that makes the money.
Yeah.
But not having the libraries, you rob people from being able to come up with the one in a million idea. Again, it's not for the people who don't want it. But if we have 8 million people in the city, right? Let's just say, or 10 million, just round number.
Yeah.
If there's that one in a million person who just sits in the library, we've just robbed ourselves of 10 people
Yeah.
who might have been to have extreme use to us.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, multiple times a day. Every day the library's closed, you rob us of that potential of somebody to go, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that compounds the opposite direction. We are stunted in our socialization, in our education, and it's showing. We're becoming more violent, more pliable as far as the society goes. People don't think they know what they want to do anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a confusing time because you can't go into accounting or certain other things. I don't know how much, people have spent a lot of money going into law, and now there's a cell phone that can download the entire contents and, give a basic extrapolation. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but it's also, it's proving to be far more useful of a literary tool.
And cheaper.
Well, why not? How else am I going to be able to digest large parts of the Library of Congress as a human?
Yeah.
That's one of the largest information repositories in the Western Hemisphere. So if there's and again, I can't do everything, but if I have a set number of interests, and if I can only read so many books in my lifespan, and there's only interest in maybe somewhere I want to go and don't want to go, you can set things up so that you find something new that would have taken you a different direction.
Let me ask you this. Right now you're taking care of your grandfather and such. How do you feel that like Social Security or, Medicaid, all these things are going right now for that generation? Because they bought into it and it's supposed to take care of them, but you feel like it's failing them or it's helping them, or?
It's functioning, but it's incredibly harmful. My other grandfather passed of Alzheimer's, and the amount of money they charged him to stay in a nursing home that inevitably shaved him bloody and left him just not looking really good, it sits with me to this day. And it's one of the reasons why I'm doing this and sitting here and talking to you, is so that, you can go and get revenge, but if you change how the system functions, then you can actually solve the problem and do right by somebody.
Yeah.
And I've seen that there's a highly abusive, overworked group of people who are in a situation that they're dealing with very difficult people at the end of their lives. So they're never getting the treatment that they need because there's a profit margin that needs to be maintained instead of a standard of care. If the standard of care could be met first, then go ahead, make as much money as you want. But there's no golden rule standard at which somebody can walk in with a white glove and say, aha, there's no shit on my finger today. But that's not the situation. I'm helping my grandpa so much, and my grandmother, just so they stay in the house and do whatever the fuck they want. I'm not having them deal with that as long as I can. And until, again, I have a job that's paying 6 figures, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Because then where does it all go? Somebody's going to spend their time taking care of him. He's going to feel like crap? No. I'm going to be able to stay near. It's not. I value the time because it's not something I'll be able to do again.
Yeah.
I
understand.
So it's. And he's cool. Like, if you see where I get my crazy from, it's really, just like I'm staring at him like, this is starting to make a lot of sense.
Is there any one last thing you want to leave the people with?
So many things. That's the whole one thing. Oh man, that's
Well,
rough.
one thing for this interview. We'll do another one with you at the Bull.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
One more thing. I really,
Thoughts on Wall Street? Anything?
well, Wall Street. We need to get rid of I can't even remember the name of it at this point, but we spent like hundreds of billions of dollars giving them some type of rebate on their taxes, which is nonsense. I really think New York City should start looking, and the whole New York as a whole should really start investing in its waterways. We don't move enough of anything by water. You know, it shouldn't be fanfare when an island with 5 million people on it gets one ferry.
Word. Yeah.
All right, you know, we don't have the ability, in case of an emergency, to evacuate Manhattan. That's not okay, especially when we're dealing with once in 100-year storms every other year.
True.
All right, so I'm not saying it needs to work perfect every day, but when the situation arises that we need to get 1 million people 20 miles inland, it needs to happen now, not 20 years from now. And the handicap accessibility for the MTA, they took us disabled people to court to get another 30 years. The ADA was passed 34 years ago.
Yeah.
They've had 34 years to get these things put in. Don't let them fool you. They want to go to 2055 to get elevators in.
Elevators.
Elevators. But and again, unless we make them do better, or actually, if we have $100 million or $100 billion to go kill people, we can put ramps to the fucking trains.
Yeah.
We can if we have 2 bus lanes, put a streetcar back.
Yeah.
We have less people now, no streetcars. Streetcars can work perfectly. They can pull right up to the curb. They can be handicap accessible from day one.
It's true.
They will never pull up in the same spot twice like all the buses. I'm sorry, no, like the buses. Despite how much they can't, up, down, left, right, sometimes difference. No, streetcar with the rails will always be the same way. More or less, barring something breaking. That's about it for right now. Because I'll just keep talking.
Well, we're out of battery.
Yeah, we're at 4%. So.
That's it. Thank you, Sad Money.
Thank you, guys. This was fun. Did any of it make sense?
All of it.
Yeah.
Fuck.